Welcome to the studio. Today I want to show you some different techniques, and I'm not sure if we're going to get a finished painting in here, but I really wanted to show you these techniques. And we're going to work on dry paper, and it's rough paper, 140 pound rough texture. So let's go. We're going to do some sky here. We're just going to do this Gary oak tree in here. I didn't pre-wet the paper, and we're just going to get into it here, and I really want to show you these techniques. And one of the secrets, is not really a secret because it's kind of out there, of watercolor is timing. Like, when do you do certain things? And it's really important, and you might struggle with it if your paper's not wet enough, or if you're not waiting long enough to do what you really want to do. Because if you don't wait long enough to get a harder edge or a crisper edge, it's not going to give it to you. It's just going to dissolve right back into the painting, and you're going to go, why did it do that? So we're going to show you that right here. So I got these drips in here. I'm not really worried about it. In fact, I could spray the paper and just get it really wet, you know, and that'll give you an extra little texture and that sort of thing. But what it does is it'll draw down your sky even more down here. Because this is wet, I'm not worried about any of this. We can get rid of any of this. They say watercolor's not forgiving, but it actually is forgiving until it's dry, and then you struggle with staining colors. You see how wet this is? We're going to use a lot of water here today. Just going to go across here and wet this some more. You're going to think this is really wet, this is way too wet, but no, it's not. Away you go, just like that, and we've erased all these drips and they're gone. And you can get into the sky here because it's this wet. You can get into the sky again and make some changes, and then just get some more blue sky into there and just let it blend into the paper, into the areas here. I've got some purple mixed up here, and I've got a little bit of purpley in the sky here, so I'm going to go ahead and drop it. And it might look really dark to begin with here, but it really isn't. It's going to dry so much lighter that it's going to look a lot like this once it's done. And so this is starting to, as soon as you quit, it's starting to tighten up. This is getting drier as we go here, and this is all coming down and just the way we want it here. So we're going to grab some paper towel. I think I have got some under here. I put the camera on the left side so I wouldn't get in the way of the camera as much here today. And here we got the horizon line. I didn't draw any preliminary drawing here, but I'm going to just take this horizon line, and it's about there. We're going to come across and just wipe that in one smooth motion. So what that does is it picks up pigment and it dries your paper. So we've got all this coming down looking, you know, like a big rain shower coming in here. So if you want to change that now, you can go in and you can lift color. I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to show you a different technique with brushes. And this brush, I'm just going to wet it. I've got a big mop brush here. So I'm just going to wet it, and I'm going to dry it again. Like that. And what I'm going to do, I've got some, a few little clouds over here. I'm going to go ahead and just pick those up. Pick up pigment is what I'm trying to say. And go like that. Now this is dry down here, dry-ish, because I've cleaned it up with a paper towel. Get the pigment off of this brush again and dry it again. And we'll go across. We're making our clouds by lifting color. Very simple. And we're changing the direction of these lines here. We want them more horizontal than these drips that came down. Like normally I'd pick up the paper and then let it flow down the way I wanted it to, but showing you on camera here makes it a little bit more difficult to do that. So that's it. I got a little bit lighter clouds down here. You can just add fresh water, or just clean water I should say, but you have to be careful of not getting blooms. So I've got that one there, and I've got a few down into here. You'll see this is really dry. That's why this damp brush is just holding the shape that I'm bending it into. And it's not damaging the brush. You're doing fine. As long as you don't go the wrong way or bend the bristles in your brush in a bad direction, then you're not going to do any damage really to them. So, and right about like that there. This can get a little bit of a dark spot here, so I'm just going to spread it a little bit here. Just because it catches my eye a little bit too much, and then you're done. There's the sky is done. So the next step will be to deal with this grass going down into here. This tree is darker than everything, so we don't really have to worry about it. So I'm just going to go ahead and use a big brush again. I've got some green gold, a little bit lighter on the horizon there. And so I'm going to go, this is really wet here, and we're going to get some blooms up into this, or dry down here and wet up here. So we're going to get some blooms up into this upper area where the clouds are, so you got to be careful of that. Not really blooms, I guess, it's just going to spread is more like it, because we don't want blooms in our painting. And I'm just going to change the color of this a little bit. I'm just excuse me, working on the palette. Little Quinacridone gold with my green. Green gold is what it is. I'm loading up the brush. Seeing if I got enough pigment on here. I think I do to give this a start. So we're going to come across the hill here. Go ahead and do that. I should have mixed that a little bit more because I got a little bit of a hard edge there. And there we go. So we've got our bead going here now, and we've got our horizon line coming down into here. This is rough paper, so it's really easy to get these dry brush techniques and get some sparkles into there. So there we have that. First line into there. And then I'm going to change my color. I'm just going to go in and I'm just going to drop some Quinacridone gold into here. And because I don't want the hard edge there, I'm going to just clean that up a bit, just like that. And I'm just letting this run down the page. And I'm going to mix up just some regular green gold by itself here now. And I'm going to come underneath that one there. And I'm just going to let that blend on the page. And remember I was telling you we got to wait for the right moment to do certain things. You've got to make sure that this is dry enough to get our foreground technique that I want to show you here. And we're laying that in. So we got a little bit darker at the base. I can put that in later, no problem. And I've got, excuse me, the next thing I've got is Undersea green. I'm just going to lay this down right into here. And again, that'll dry a lot darker than what it is now. And you can see it running down the page here. You can clean that up with a paper towel so it doesn't get everywhere on your feet and whatever. I'm just thinking of leaving that right there. Just like that there. And you notice the pigment will run. If you drop the pigment over top of a dry area, it'll just follow that line down. If you got a little bit of an angle on your table and an angle in that dry line, it'll go down this way here. So you can direct that watercolor where you want it. So we want a little bit more variation here. It's getting kind of boring. I got some red in my palette. Let's just drop some of this red color in there and let it blend on the paper. So I still got a big brush going on here. I'm going to put it down. I'm going to get a little bit smaller brush. This is like a number 12 Escoda brush here. And I do want to drop in some other colors into here in different spots. Like that. And I've got some purple. What the heck? Why be boring? Let's just drop some purple in there. And it's still really wet. These colors are going to blend, they're going to dissolve, and they're going to just melt right into the rest of this painting here. And I've got some sepia. I want to get darker. Some more darks in here. Now it looks really dark now, but it's really not going to be that dark. So all these splatters up here, until that's dry, you can pretty much lift them out and paint some seagulls in there later if you want to. Should use a clean piece of paper towel there, just like that. And if you don't like these up here, they're going to dissolve to almost nothing anyway. But clean that up there. I'm just going to go across them like this here. And let it go. So you can see already this paper is tightening up. So whatever I'm doing here now, as it's tightening up, is more locked in there, let's say. It's really not, it's going to change less. The drier paper is, the less it's going to change. So there we go. And then I got a really dark area right at the base of this tree, which is right about here. I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to go to a satin green here. It's a really neat color, and I'm just going to put it in right there, just like that. And a little bit behind that tree, drop like that there. And then I'm going to go in with some green gold, and I'm going to mix this right on the paper. And it's very wet here still. I just introduced more moisture. If you've watched my video on total moisture content in your brush palette paper, you can see, you can understand that. I'm sure you understand what's going on there. Now, so this here, I'm really going to watch this for the right moment, and then I'm going to spray just some clean water at it. If you do it now, you spray clean water at this, it's not going to do anything except dissolve your color, just like that. It's not going to give you any texture, nothing's going on. So that's what I wanted to show you in this painting here. And also, if it's this wet, your sky is not that wet anymore. It's dry. It's dry to the touch. It's still curling the paper up a little bit. Lifting the paper's a little bit wavy, and our sky is developing quite nicely there. And just I might lift a little bit of this cloud, but it's fine. And then, so I'm waiting for this. If I put the tree trunk in here now, it's just going to go gone, and it's going to dissolve, and you're going to be trying to correct the edges by either cleaning up your mess and that sort of thing here. So we really have to wait now until this dries, and we can spray some water on it and give it some detail for your foreground effects. But really, the magic is happening right now while it's just blending, mixing on the paper. And that is so important, just to let it do its thing and just wait. So while this is still wet, you can grab a brush that you don't care too much about and mash it. And I'm just trying to put my light back on here, maybe I see it a little bit better. And you can just draw some of these grasses up like this. Just gently, and this brush is totally dry, and then I can drag these up here too. We're almost at the stage now where we're going to spray our water on there, and it's not drying evenly. Wherever the paper kind of pools down there a little bit, it's a little wetter, but that's actually a good thing, because it'll give you variations in what you're doing here, and just indicate just hints of these grass is coming up, just like that. That's all I'm going to do right there. And now it's time. I can see that it's just got a bit of a sheen in different spots, and some spots it doesn't. Let's go ahead and get some water drops on there right now. And you got to know when to stop, because if you're putting the water on there and you're not seeing anything happen, and you just keep going, pretty soon you're going to have it all saturated, which is recoverable, because you just got to let it dry again and then do it over again. Add more pigment if you need to, if you've just run it all off the page. And that's about it there. So we're just going to let that kind of granulate some of these things. What I found also is, if you've got some titanium white, this is a Daniel Smith color, and this brush is a little bit on the soft side here. I'm just going to drop some of it in. It follows the granulation of the paper and it gives you a few little highlights in there, like that. So for your lights and darks, you're creating light. Actually, the darks are what create the light. So if you don't have the darks, you're not going to have any light in your painting. So this is dry up here. This is still really wet here. Let's let that dry some more, and then we're going to go ahead and do our trunk, and I'll show you another new technique I haven't showed you yet. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is put this tree in, but this is dry. I've dried this middle part with a hairdryer here, and I'm just going to drop the base of the tree into here, like that, right about there, and I'm going to come up. Be a little careful with it as you come up here, and then this is, go a little bit over this way here, make it a little bit bigger at the base, and then coming up here. These Gary oaks, I don't think there's a straight limb in these trees anywhere. And then you could just start going off this way and this way. I got too big of a brush to keep going with that there, and I'm gonna come across here, go down like that there. This is just neutral gray. This is all this is. It's a warm neutral gray. It's a Joseph Zbukvic Daniel Smith signature color. And go in here and up it goes just like that. And right off the page like that. I'm going to strengthen that a little bit there. So then we've got another branch that's actually lower here that's coming across like here. Like that there. And this brush is a little bit big, so I'm just going to use the tip of it and make some extra branches here, just like that. And they kind of go every direction, these branches here. The one's kind of coming towards you. Doesn't have to be exactly like this photo here, and there's probably no possible way that I could do it that way. Exactly like the photo. Like that there. We've got a little bit of a branch coming down here. It might be a little bit bigger than I bargained for, but that's fine. And then come up here with this guy. And you don't actually have to connect them all, because you can put some foliage on here anyway. And then up here like this. And like that there. Gonna actually strengthen that a little bit at the base. And keep going a little bit higher up, right off the page, just kind of like that there. Now I'm going to get a smaller brush. I'm just going to get like a medium-sized rigger, and that'll help me a lot here. You notice this is all neutral gray. I don't want this to dry yet, because I'm going to drop colors right into this. So I'm going to kind of hurry it up here a little bit. It's easier to hurry up with this little rigger brush. Like that there, and that there. Up here, and it's better if you just kind of go and hesitate and just drag it across like that. And drop them in there. There's another one that comes across like this here. Just kind of dry brush that in. Or strengthen it a little bit here at the base, and then back down like that there. Okay, so now I'm just going to get some Quinacridone burnt orange, and I'm just going to drop it in here. So wherever this is, it's going to blend on the paper, and you can see already here it's giving me some nice texture look to it. And drag that across like that. And you try to stay on your darks there, but that's just fine. And it changes the tone of it just nicely, just like that there. Bring it up here. There's also other different techniques you can use to do this. You can drop some salt into this wet pigment. And there, I'm going to leave that there. This one here is a little bit strong. And I've just dipped into my neutral gray here, because I'm going to change how this branch is. Right here, just like that. Okay, then the next thing you're going to do while that's still wet is you're going to get a toothbrush. I'm gonna get a toothbrush and we got some green. Just gonna go with this sap green and we're gonna just do some spray painting. And you're making all your little leaves and things in here by doing that. And again, you don't have to be really afraid of this. You can just kind of work it, move it around, and just go to town on it. And you can change the color. You could put some more of that Quinacridone burnt orange in there, and that'll change the color, and it'll mix with your greens on the paper here too, and give you a real nice effect there. So this is the other trick here I wanted to show you. If you get in here, I'm going to put in just a little bit more green, little green gold. I'm going to go down here and give us some green gold in here. I didn't like that drip. That's when you don't really want that drip, but you can fix it. Like that. You don't quite want that drip yet. There, and like that. And you can get some different color on your toothbrush, like little purples and different things, and then you can blend them on the paper and just give yourself some effect. And you can go as gentle as you want, as focused as you want with these things. And get some darks in here and just make everything mesh together. So I've got this big drip going on here. I could just pick it up just like that. And remember about telling you the direction that you want your paint to go? Let's put it over there, and then we'll put another, pick that up, and we'll just use that pigment, and we'll go over here with it. There. And so we got some shadows here too. I'm just gonna blend that in, and you're done. So until it's dry, like I said, you could do whatever you want. You can still manipulate it, you can still pick it up, and you can even wet it some more. So we're going to get we got the spray bottle here going. I'm going to create just a little blending with the spray bottle, and you can put it where you want, just like that. And then you can drop in some more darks, and wherever the water went from the spray bottle is where this is going to go. You can direct it a little bit. Then in your darks, you're just creating some light here. It looks a little bit unfinished there, so I'm going to go ahead and do that there. So normally I'd be picking this painting up and it'd be a lot flatter than this too. So until it's dry, you can make all these corrections that you want. And we're going to let that be just like that. Got a little bit of a spot up there I want to fix. And blend that in right to the tree trunk, and just let that follow where it wants and let it do its thing there. So we still got our shadow down here. And the other thing I'm going to show you is you can use that color, blend it this way in a negative paint, and leave your highlights in there. And I'm going to get some darks, maybe some dark green, undersea green, and we're going to reinforce this shadow here and just bring it right across, just like that, and a little bit maybe here. Blend that in, do little grasses, and pick that up again until it's dry. You can keep working it, and even after it's dry you can wet it again and keep working on it. So what I'm doing now is just doing a little bit of negative painting, and there, and that's good there. A little bit here. I'm going to leave that there. I'm just making a nice shadow. And in here, I'm going to drop in a little bit more Quinacridone burnt orange on here, and you'll watch it come down. Make some amazing colors mixing on the paper, and I just I'm going to darken the edge here. I've got some purple, make the darker parts of my tree here and the shadows. And let that just blend in there. And that's going to dry a lot darker than what it is. I'm sorry, it's going to dry a lot lighter than what it is. I'm just painting and talking at the same time here. Studying this, and this needs just to be blended down a little bit into here to give a supporting structure that looks better. And this has done its thing again down into here. Blend it across there like that. Like here. And there's nothing wrong with even just leaving that the way it is there, but I want the tree to start kind of up here. So this is tightening up some more. So I'm going to drop in some more right here. More green. Then undersea green. More neutral gray. I'm trying to run that down this way here, just like that. And blend it up into some grasses here. Yeah, that's looking good there. You could play with it till you like it, and away you go. And we got some nice color going in there. We can even put a little cat orange in this if we wanted to, and just brighten things up a little bit here. There, just like that. So I'm just going to let this dry and see what we get. Okay, so this is dried, and the only thing I'm going to do now is just add just a few more of these darks right about here in the shadows of this grass that's under the tree here, and maybe a little bit here. And then what I'm going to do is just going to grab just a little rigger brush here, and I'm going to pull this up just like that. Just blend it in, blend the tops in, and you can pull the bottoms down. Do a little negative painting. Blend that in there, and maybe a little bit darker again. And this is all wet here now, so it's just going to blend on the paper. And that's about it. I just wanted to show you this all these different techniques. You can spray paint, you could just have fun with watercolor, and you know, do some different things. Thanks to all the new subscribers, I really appreciate it. Please like and get other people to subscribe if you know somebody that's interested in watercolor. And we will see you next time. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and have a great day. Bye for now. Thanks for watching till the end. Here's the finished painting. I hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.